Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. And I'm still at the convention, which is pretty cool. I also picked up this really cool mouse. It's actually really cool. It's like I'm on one of the Slate ones. I'm not sure if you're able to get like a regular version of it, but it says TSA on it. But if you don't know what TSA is, it's Technology Student Association. I also got a flash drive from them, which it's 7 MB up and down on it, but the case itself is pretty crappy. It's like 8 GB, but it's pretty cool. It kind of looks like a circuit board, and then the actual drive itself is like a microprocessor. So whatever. Decent pen. Pull it out. Pretty cool concept. They always do when they have these things. The cool part about the mouse though is that I believe this is a micro USB or mini USB. Don't remember the two. Hold on. I can never remember either one between the two. So yeah, it's mini USB. So it's a mini USB mouse. I came with one, but it was really bad. It's like one of the ones that extend out and then extend back in with the little roll thing. So I just used my own, which is just as good. Works better though, because it's on my USB 3.0. So it's a much faster mouse now. So basically, I have some really cool topics. Mostly like a Raspberry Pi 3 rival that I will definitely, no matter what, get. I'm gonna start off with this one right here. It's basically a rival to the Raspberry Pi 3 that uses an SSD storage slot. What the best part about this to me is, I've never seen this before. Someone else probably has. It's probably been done before, but this has a actual Intel processor on it. So if you don't, that's the problem with a lot of single board computers, is that they don't have support for the operating system that you may want to put on there. So essentially, this is kind of like the kick out of all of those problems. Now, if it has 512, okay, that's the gigabyte SSD that it can support up to. It's a Atom E3845 at 1.91 gigahertz. So it's not exactly a highly spec'd one. You won't be able to install the newest version of Ubuntu, but this is more of a kind of system that you'd be using for Kali Linux or a server if you really wanted to put Windows Server or just Windows on it. Or it could be running a Atom dual core Atom E 3826. Basically, the difference between that one, the first one I said was a quad core, and the second one I said was a dual core. Depending on the price, depends on which one I get. Now they have a integrated graphics, 2 gigabytes of DDR3. Hopefully they may get it up to 4. If they do, then that would be great. Ethernet as an HDMI port, 2 Ethernet ports, which is really interesting to me. So that means that they're really kind of upping up the network situation. So this may be a server solution if you need to run a small file server or web server. So you got that kind of going there. Also has a micro SD slot, so if you don't want to buy an SSD, you can just throw in your old micro SD in there, or a TF transformat or whatever it's called. I don't know the name of it. I don't expect anyone to know the name of it. As a USB port 2.0 port and a USB 3.0 port, which can both be expansion supported, so that's cool. And it'll be able to run Windows 10 and locked core. So, like I said, it runs a Atom, so which I believe the Atom E3826 is a 32-bit processor. I'm not sure. I have an Atom in my penetration testing laptop, ethical hacking laptop. Okay, so like the lowest one that you can get is it's brand new, it's launched, it's a 64-bit. Alright, so you got 64-bit. And so I'm definitely am getting this. It's just amazing. I may get this for penetration testing, just because all you have to do is just have like a 10-inch monitor or something like that, even smaller. Hook it up, You got like a 2 gig thing, and it's perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. Because it's definitely going to be more upgradable if you can find a processor to replace in there. And I just prefer it over penetration testing of laptops, mostly because if you buy a case for it, or build a case, something that I want to do for your Pine 64, then you essentially have a mini desktop. And if you get a heatsink, like our next object, you'll definitely be able to overclock it, and it'll be really cool. And, it'll be efficient. The RAM, though, may hold it back a lot more, but they may later on come out with 4 gigs or 8 gigs. We're not at the 32 gigabyte or 16 gigabyte set mark yet in the single board computers, so you can't have a tiny server yet, but when it does get there, that'll be great. Alright, so we're going to move on to our next topic, which is overclocking a Raspberry Pi 3. Now, there's different programs you have to go into the actual framework to do it, but what this one guy did is he bought a case for it, and then he cut out the plexiglass top, and then he put a heatsink on top of it, and then soldered it down. Now, hopefully this will be what you're gonna be able to do for the MinoMax. That's what it was. And if you're on YouTube, I will be leaving a link to the article, to all of the articles, and if I can find it, the article to the or whatever you can do on by the Minnow board. And I will be sending this to a friend of mine later on, because you gotta connect with them people. You got that one guy that works with security, and what's gonna be funny though is he just pre-ordered the Raspberry Pi Zero, so that's funny. So anyways, if you wanna overclock your Raspberry Pi, this will be on the YouTube description for the Raspberry Pi overclock thing. Next up, we have your SanDisk I'm just gonna call them micro SD cards, what they actually are. SD cards. Now, SanDisk released a new one, which is called the SanDisk Ultra. This may have actually been out. I'm actually gonna go check downstairs at the tech shopping thing. That's the cool part about this hotel. It's a place where you can buy like tech. I believe this actually has been out for a while. The 256, but this is new news to me. I think there's like a new model, XC1. This probably has been out for a while. I saw something on Google Plus about it. I was like, hey, let me just throw it in there. So this will definitely be really cool to go along with, because it has up to 95 megabits a second. I call bullshit on that, but whatever they say, we're just gonna go by it, because usually it's not even close to that. It runs like, if you have like 10 megabytes a second, it runs 200 that, which is pretty much like an average, national average almost. But if you you use like a Raspberry Pi or something like that, or if you're going to move over to the MinoMax or something like that, like I said, this one also has a micro SD card. This thing is really cool. I'm really pumped about the MinoMax, because I have not seen another single board computer using a microprocessor like that. So, I'm pretty pumped about that. They also have the SanDisk Extreme, which, is pretty standard 128 gigabyte for smartphones. I think why this was linked there is because they finally got them smartphone support, like Android support for it. So definitely, if you're using Android or something like that, and you download a bunch of music or apps, and like you have a crap ton of it, maybe video streaming a lot, like have a lot of videos, this is definitely going to be it. The SanDisk Ultra, like I said, both of these links are going to be down there in the description below. You can easily get these like on Amazon or anywhere, so they're not that hard to find. And another Ubuntu phone has been codenamed More Midori was released, was been leaked, which is really cool. I've not actually ever tried out a Ubuntu phone, but I have tried out the Ubuntu Phone OS, which it's like the iPhone OS, but you know, for people that aren't complete retards. Well, not retards. A lot of people that are smart still use iPhones. It's not as bulletproof as the iPhone, iOS is. It's not as, you can't break anything on the iPhone OS, but you may be able to break something with the Ubuntu OS, because it's not like Android. It's not as customizable if you don't know what you're doing. But other than that, it's essentially all the same. Anyways, let's see here. Also, a new this was just something random. I was going through the Android Google Plus page, and some guy was talking about his app, and it was really cool. It's called Squares, and there's not too many pictures about it, but it looks really cool. A lot of people were talking about how cool it is. It looks really interesting, actually. Like, I might drop squares into like the colored water or whatever. Different gold squares, so there will be micro DLC, of course. And he already has his little ad revenue there, but that's how you keep the developers in business. So, anyways, I'm gonna end off the podcast here. Oh, hold up. What is this? There's another thing called Squares. Oh, this is like Geometry Dash, I take it. This one. Let's see here. They have a video for it. And I'm pretty sure this is like the actual Geometry Dash. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Geometry Dash, except you guide it around into like a little smaller thing. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, so. Anyways, there will be a Raspberry Pi free giveaway in the description. And anyways, have a good day.